Well, hello there. My name is Mahdi. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Hello, hello, hello. Well, hello there. My name is Mahdi, and I'm here to talk about Positions by Ariana Grande. Legendary singer-songwriter Ariana Grande is back with another amazing album. It's been like a year since her last album, Thank You Next, and that album was one of my favorite albums of 2019 and my favorite album by her. So when this album came out, I had a lot of high expectations from it. So when I first heard Positions, the single, I didn't really like it that much. I don't know why. I just didn't connect with it that much. But then after a while, it grew on me. And when I heard the album, I realized I judged really quickly by that single because, oh my god, this album is absolutely amazing. This album is like Ariana Grande horny mode. Ariana Grande is horny as fuck on this album, and she's coming for that D. Like the Instagram stories of every Ariana Grande fan for like the next year is gonna be like the background music of the Instagram stories of every Ariana Grande fan is gonna be like these songs for like the next year or 2 years. This project is 41 minutes, and it's 14 tracks, and it's quite short. Like at first I thought it was gonna be so much longer, but then like the tracks, like each one of them are like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. I think the highest on the album is like it's just 4 minutes, and the tracks go by really quickly. They feel really fast. The album starts off with Shut Up, which is the first track, and it's quite a playful, sweet track, and it's about kinda Ariana, I think, talking to her doubters and her people who like kinda prevent her from doing stuff, or people who doubt her and like telling them to shut up. It's basically a track of her catching up from the last album. It's basically like an update track, and the orchestra string that start off with the track and they're like consistent throughout the track sound fucking amazing. Like I love the production on this album, and especially on this first track, Shut Up. Like the production is just absolutely beautiful, and I love her voice on the intro. It sounds so catchy and it sounds so beautiful. It sounds so consistent, and the chorus is pretty catchy too. It's quite like a solid intro track. I really like it, and it kind of starts off the album pretty nicely. Next track is 69. Actually it's 34 plus 35, but for some reason she could have just named it 69. I don't know why she didn't do that. It's just basically Ariana being horny and talking about her sexual needs, which I absolutely love. Like this track sounds amazing. The beat and the instrumental is so playful and fun. It genuinely sounds like she's having fun when she's making this out. And also her delivery is really good. The chorus is extremely catchy, and I love how she keeps changing her voice. And I've been drinking coffee, I've been eating healthy. That part, I love that part. It's a really good part. Overall, the track is just amazing. One of my favorite tracks of the album for sure. Next track is Motive, which is produced by the one and only Murder Beats. And when I first heard that tag, I didn't know how the track was gonna sound like. At first I thought it was gonna sound like a mess, but then oh my god, like the production, just appreciate like the production of this track and Ariana's voice just match perfectly together. The beat is pretty wavy, it's pretty chill, and it genuinely feels like a perfect track for like a night out with friends, like a car ride track. It's really atmospheric. The track is basically like Ariana asking this person who is approaching her like, what's your motive? What do you want out of this relationship, basically, or what's your motive for approaching me? And the chorus is just beautiful, and as always, her voice is just amazing. Like for real, Ariana is popping off with these choruses, because these choruses on this album are some of the best choruses I've ever heard from her. They're catchy, they're fun, they're playful, and they sound so charming. I really didn't like Doja Cat's part that much. I know why. It's because I think I had this assumption and this idea about what she's gonna sound like on the track, and it wasn't the same. So it kind of threw me off a little bit. And also, like, I feel like Ariana did so much better in the track than Doja. And yeah, I just feel like it's not a really good feature, but still, it's a good track. It's a pretty good track. Like she did her job, and she did her job correctly. She didn't add anything, but she did her job basically. And overall, a pretty good track. I quite liked it. Just Like Magic is like the first track on the album, which I didn't like that much. It's not that it was bad or even mediocre. It's a pretty good track, but I just didn't feel it and I didn't like it. Like, I just felt like it wasn't as good as the other tracks. The song is pretty upbeat and it's just Ariana talking about her accomplishments, and it's alright. Like, I don't really like it, but I can see why someone would like it. And yeah, it's not special for me. It doesn't have any highlights and I just didn't like it that much. So yeah. Off the Table featuring Abel or The Weeknd. The song starts off pretty atmospheric and slow, and it's pretty sexy. It's really good. Like, I really like it at first. And the track is basically Ariana talking about entering a relationship, and she's questioning herself and she's being skeptical about the relationship. And it's another solid song on the album. Like, I love Ariana's part and I feel like Weeknd's part is as good as her. Like, they complement each other perfectly, and both of them put so much work on the track. Like, you can hear it on their voice. Like, they are really passionate about this track and they really want this track to be like perfect. And I love that about it. I love how passionate and I guess beautiful it sounds. The duet at the end where they have, it's just magical. And the track feels pretty short, although it's like 4 minutes, but it feels like 2 minutes. It flows perfectly, and yeah, it's just, and also the strings at the end. Like, I remember the strings at the end are just amazing. Like, it closes the track off really good. After that, we have 6:30, which is a track about Ariana talking about her relationship and her struggles with her significant other. Also, the chorus is like, she's saying, "Are you down?" And then she's like, "Are you down like 6:30?" You know, because 6:30 is down. Pretty clever, right? Really clever, Ariana. I really like the track. I love how quiet and chill the instrumental is, and it kind of gives space for Ariana to shine. Like, the instruments are pretty low-key, so it kind of helps Ariana's voice to shine. I really like that. I really like how low-key the instrumental is. Like the track feels extremely short. See, like, that's the thing with most of these tracks, is that they feel extremely short. I don't know why. I don't know what is it about them. Like, I know like those tracks are like 2 minutes. Yeah, of course they sound short, but even the long tracks, they sound really short. It's like they flow perfectly, and I like that about them. I know, it feels like they're doing their job and then they're like passing by, you know. Safety Net is a quiet and emotional track. It features Ty Dolla $ign, and although I feel like Ariana outdid Ty Dolla $ign in this track, but still, like, his part was really good. Although I feel like it was a little bit short. Like, I feel like it could have been longer, but anyways, like, the track is pretty good. I really like the production. It's pretty chill, and their duet together is just perfect. Overall, I really like the track, and the bridge sounds amazing. Like, the bridge of the song is my favorite part of it, and it just sounds beautiful. And the ending is really good too. It's overall a good track. My Hair is one of my favorite, like, absolute favorite tracks of this album. Like, everything about the track sounds perfect to me. I love everything about it. It sounds so smooth and sexy, and like, Ariana on this beat sounds like an angel. I don't know how they did this in production, but this track just sounds absolutely beautiful. Props to the production team. They really outdid themselves. It sounds amazing. The track is basically like Ariana opening up to her significant other, and I guess getting private, like, or like her telling that person, like, "Oh, touch my hair," or, you know, let's get intimate basically. And oh my god, at the end, high note that she hits is just so good. Like, the high note at the end, like, surprised me, blew my mind the first time I listened to it. It's really good. Then we have like a really cool transition to the next track, which is Nasty. And this track is about like Ariana talking about her sexual desires, I guess. And the track starts off pretty good. Like, at first it sounds amazing, but then for some reason it falls flat for me. Like, I lost interest really quickly. I don't know why. I guess it's just that it gets too repetitive, and it's not really, nothing much is really going on the track, so it kind of feels like meh, you know. And I also feel like the chorus just is really weak compared to the other choruses on this album. And yeah, I guess it's just a really mediocre song. I like it, but I just don't like it as much as the other tracks. You know, that's the thing with really good albums. When you listen to a really good album, even the voice track on the album might be really good as a single, but in the context of an album, you have all these perfect songs, and then you have this song which is like a little bit mediocre. So it kind of makes it worse. Like it sounds even worse in the context of the album. So that's why I didn't like it that much. After that, we have West Side, which is a pretty charming track about Ariana telling her partner that like she's serious and she's serious about the relationship. And overall, the track sounds pretty cool, but I don't know, it at the end it just feels like a demo, like because it's too short and not much is really going on with the production. It a little bit it feels like a demo. Like when I was hearing it, I genuinely felt like oh, this was a demo, and then she just threw it in the track list at the end. Like it kind of feels like that. I wish they worked on it a little bit more. Love Language is the 11th track, and it's basically about Ariana trying to understand her partner. Like they're trying to understand each other in their relationship. The song is pretty good, and I like her voice. It kind of like her voice is popping off, and I really like the instrumental. Everything about it sounds okay, sounds good. And also the way she keeps changing her voice, I love that. I love when artists do that. Like it's one of the same reasons I really like Kendrick Lamar, because he's really good with he's really good with changing his voice over and over and over in a track. So when an artist does that, I really appreciate it and I really like it. And Ariana does this a lot throughout this song and throughout the whole album in general. So that's why I really like it. Positions is the next track, which was released as a single, and it grew on me so much. It grew on me so much until like the release of the album. And even now, in the context of the album, it sounds even better. Like it makes more sense and it sounds so much better. Like after Love Language, it just transitions really good. The track is about Ariana telling her lover how she's serious about the relationship, and she's able to be flexible, and she's able to like willing to do everything to make this relationship work. That's basically like the gist of the track, the main point of the track. The instrumental is really cute and charming, and it's a pretty solid and catchy track. I like it. And then we have the amazing track, which is Obvious. It's Obvious. The track is basically Ariana explaining how she's moved on from her past relationships, with the death of Mac Miller and the stuff that happens. Like she's talking about how she's moved on from the past relationships and she's ready to fall in love again. She's ready to move past those past memories or bad memories. The production and her voice are just amazing, and I love how good the track is. The only thing I hate about this track is how short it is. Like I wish it was a little bit longer. I wish it was at least like 5 minutes, because like the production is really good. So I wanted to keep going, and her voice is just extremely charming. I really love that track. That might be one of my favorite tracks on the album. It's just charming as fuck. POV, or the point of view, is the last track of the album, which is indeed like the perfect outro you could put for this album. It's like the conclusion to the story of the whole album. Ariana saying like she's satisfied with her relationship and she thinks right now she's in a perfect relationship, and it's kind of like a conclusion. She's saying, oh, we came this far and everything is perfect, our relationship is perfect. And it's really clever and cute. She says, I wish I could see myself from your point of view. That I really like that line. It sounds really cute. The whole track basically feels like a goodbye. It's like a slow instrumental and it's pretty spacey. And the bridge of this track sounds absolutely gorgeous. Like I really like the bridge to the POV, because it feels like the last words to the last chapter of a book, It just feels like the last words you read on the last chapter of the book, that after that you close the book and then you go like, wow, what a book it was. It genuinely feels like that, and I love that about it. And after listening to the whole album, I genuinely got this feeling that this album is kind of like a sequel to Thank You Next, because Thank You Next was like this album where She was talking about how much of a mess she is and how fucked up her relationship, her sex life, and her love life is. So I think this album is kind of like the conclusion to that. It's a sequel, you know. You have Thank You Next, which is pretty pessimistic and kind of not dark. It's dark. It's dark compared to this track. It's dark compared to this album, and I feel like the sequel to Thank You Next was this album. If I had to give it a score, I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, that feels like a really justified score for the album. Also, I really don't like the album cover. It's because, like, you know, her last albums, like, although they had like portrait of her, like it's a picture of her, but they look cool. Like Thank You Next, Dangerous Woman, Sweetener, all these is her faces, and they look cool, but just for this album cover, I don't like it. I mean, it's pretty cute. It's like her face, but it's just, I don't like it. I wish it was a little bit different. That's all I asked for. But overall, I quite enjoyed this album. I really liked it, and I'm happy. I'm really happy with it, and I'm really excited to hear what Ariana has to offer next. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you want. I make videos every day. And yeah, just thank you so much for watching. Bye.
میدونستی ننه سر بازی بده مرخصیش کمه ننه چرا منو زاییدی تو که دهنمو گاییدی میدونستی ننه بزرگ میشم